What is up, fellows, fellowettes, and fellow copters? It's your boy Defrano, back at you with another one. I found a pretty interesting video here on why gaming YouTubers eventually become irrelevant, and I think there's basically one reason for this. I haven't watched the video yet, but I think there will be one main reason of this, and that they normally tend to stick to one game. And there are some outliers to this, like Tyler One. He does some other games, but Tyler One's just an entertaining person, so people do come back. But normally, when they're like these people that play this one game and they're just really good at the game, it becomes kind of, you don't watch it for them, you're watching it for their gameplay. So then once the game gets boring, people start getting bored of the game and stuff, they fall off, and I think that's pretty much the reason for it. But we'll watch and see what this guy has to go. We'll go through the video, and I'll give some opinions of myself, maybe on what he's saying here. Because I want it to be, at one point, I mean, you can go back on my YouTube channel. I've done some gaming content. It was a long time ago, but I'm starting to, because I didn't post regularly, so I'm starting now to try and just get myself into recording every day and stuff like that. So I'm doing relevant content, so I always have something different kind of, and maybe I can just give my opinion on it, and it kind of forces me every day to kind of come up with something new for myself. So that's kind of why what I'm doing right now. Although, and I might in the background try some games and stuff and put it up, see what people think if I want to or something, who knows. But we'll watch this. So, what was it? Okay, let's see. This is old, obviously. 09, and then in 2020, we only got 4K. Yeah, this game's just old, so, I mean, no one really wants to watch the
Now, recently, while making these downfall videos, I've had a load of tip-offs.
Usually people want to see newer, the reason you'd almost watch a YouTube gaming show is to get some insight on the game that you're playing currently, and not a lot of people are playing these older games, so obviously they're gonna fall out of relevancy.
And suggestions from people on my Twitter regarding YouTubers who have gone irrelevant or had a quote-unquote downfall. Now, I've been loving getting these suggestions because it makes my life way easier, so thank you guys for that. But I've started to notice a trend. About 90%
before, and he was a really, really, I don't know how good he was actually, but to me he was like my intro into people who would beatbox, and I found his videos really entertaining and stuff. And now he's just, if we look him up, let's see where he is at, because that's another person I used to love, So Close to Toast. Let's see if he's even So Close to Toast. This was back in he's still making videos, but yeah, he's got 1,000 and stuff, so he used to be fucking insane. No matter the content, it's my passion, my hobby, and what truly makes me happy. I hope it makes you happy. He was a really funny person too. I just haven't watched him in forever, so.
of these YouTubers that you guys suggest are gamers who don't get views anymore and are irrelevant, shall we say. People like Gold Glove TV, 1.26 million subscribers, 8,000 views per video. Locks, 300,000 subs, 10k views per video. Sandy Ravage, 436k subs, 10k views per video.
It seems as though the gaming genre is super volatile and way more exposed to irrelevancy compared to any other video genre.
But why is this?
I wonder if that's
I also want to explore how come some YouTubers can go months without uploading, come back and still get millions of views, while other YouTubers don't upload for 3 days and run the risk of ruining their channel.
Right, I've always wondered this too. I wonder if it's just the content they do is... I've always wondered this too, because some people will post a while, but then once they post their video, everyone comes... It must just be the quality of their videos, I'm guessing.
This video...
Because this is almost like a movie compared to TV series. TV series you'd watch every day because you're into a routine of watching this person. You know what you get, but then this one person will drop a movie every now and then, and you go there to watch his creation, really.
This video will explore the concept of irrelevancy, so we can answer the question, why do gaming YouTubers go irrelevant way more than any other video genre?
I wonder if that's true. I wonder if it's just because there's more of them. Because I think video gaming genre is probably one of the easier ones to get into. It's super easy to just play a game and then record yourself playing the game, right? So I'm assuming that's why it's just got probably a ton of people, and not everyone can make it, obviously, because there's only so much time people want to put into watching videos and stuff.
Competition. There you go, I've given you one word that answers the entire video. But seriously, what is competition? Well, competition in a broad sense is rivalry between two people who share a similar goal. However, in a YouTube context, competition is the number of other creators that are making videos in a specific video genre.
Yeah, this is what I was just saying, actually. That's crazy.
For example, Ninja is competing with Tfue, Keemstar is competing with Scarce, Some Ordinary Games is competing with Penguin Zero. I'm sure you can apply it to whatever creator you watched.
However, simply knowing that competition exists isn't enough to answer the question. We have to dig a little bit deeper. Why is there a lot of competition in the
I don't know if I'd call it competition, more as just variety. There's just so many people out there that, and then, you know, you find one person you like and you stick to them. You don't have to go out into something that you don't know.
Gaming genre?
How come some genres of content like game...
Then I guess it would be like, why are people going away from him? You know? If they found this person who had 1.26 million subscribers and now he's only get 4,000 views a video, I wonder what caused everyone to kind of go away from him. Maybe they just found someone new, moved on to a different game.
Gaming or reactions have millions of different videos available on YouTube, while other genres it's hard to even find a single person making content on a topic that you might be interested in. Well, it comes down to what's called barriers of entry. What do I mean by barriers of entry?
In a YouTube setting,
what he means is how hard it is to get into the... I would assume in this way he's going to say how hard it is to get into maybe the public eye. I would assume he wouldn't say how hard it is to actually make the content.
It's the amount of obstacles in the way of making a certain video type. For example, the specific knowledge of a skill or perhaps the equipment needed to make a specific video.
Yeah.
Well, let's apply that to gaming. What does it take to start a gaming channel? A computer or gaming console, 90% of the developed world has one. A specific video game to make videos on. Again, anyone can get that within an hour if they really want to. Recording software, editing software, all very...
You don't even need editing software for this. Like, I don't actually have editing software, although I'm not doing gaming, but I don't have editing software, and you could easily just edit out the first 10, 20 seconds of you getting everything set up, then the last 20 seconds of your video in YouTube editor. And that's kind of all the effort you really need to put into it at the bare minimum, right? Obviously, the better ones are going to have more editing tools and stuff, but Adobe Premiere is kind of expensive. And I mean, it's not really hard to learn. I wouldn't say Adobe Premiere is the hardest thing in the world to learn, but, you know, some stuff on it, it's not fun.
Very easily accessible.
I think it's almost like 600 or something, probably even a little bit more now, a year for Adobe Premiere, and you have to do subscription. You can't buy Adobe fresh out the box anymore, which I kind of hate because older Adobes work perfectly fine, but you have to now have a subscription, which is smart for them because you can't just buy one thing, stick with that for a couple years, and then move on once yours comes too behind in the what would you call it, like the HUD or whatever, the tools you need to stay competitive aren't in that. You know, I would say subscription really is only good for big companies that want to stay up to date on their Adobe Premiere, but like the everyday person doesn't need that.
To anyone looking to start making content.
On top of this, there's really no risk from a social standpoint. You can post videos under an anonymous name with no face cam. There's no risk of social rejection, right?
And what's the
I don't know if I'd classify it as social rejection, more as not really needing to put your face out there. Like, I don't really want to have my face out there because there's a lot of private stuff that comes with keeping your identity hidden, and you lose that once you put your face out there. So
result of...
I would say privacy is a big thing about not wanting to put your face cam on there, but then that could hurt you in a bunch of ways, as it wouldn't give someone to almost latch on to your videos, right? They don't have anything there to get personal with. And that's a big thing about making a video, is trying to connect with somebody, but I'm not really in making these right now to try to connect with someone. I'm kind of just wanting to put my stuff out there and people can think whatever they want, really.
Of all this, quite literally millions of gaming videos on YouTube to compete with.
Yep.
Most of them get no views, but that doesn't matter. We're just trying to highlight the competition and how easy it is
Yep.
to make content within that genre. The current state of
Yeah.
monetization on YouTube
It's pretty easy, and I believe even monetization kind of helped out with some video games right now. They're doing the more violent ones you can't really post on, or you probably won't be able to post anything on if it has like killing and stuff in it and be monetized.
YouTube also likely has a huge role in the desire to be a gaming content creator. With so many
Yep.
different video styles becoming demonetized, there's far more incentive to go with a safer genre like gaming. On top
And that really depends on the game you have. Minecraft is obviously going to be one of those games where monetization is going to be really key and really good on, and stuff like Call of Duty now isn't going to be really good to post videos,
of this, the gaming genre in itself already offers
which is kind of sad because it really takes creativity out of the world. You know what I mean? Out of the platform.
loads of incentives
Because even if you
that you might have over
just a
other
video
video
for another
types.
day.
Sponsorships seem to be way more prevalent than other video genres, and also you can stream on Twitch if your YouTube channel becomes big enough,
Yeah.
an incentive that's not offered by other genres.
Yeah.
Another aspect that adds to the level of
I don't know if I'd ever really want to. I tried streaming, it's not really for me.
competition is the fact that it's really difficult to differentiate yourself from other gaming YouTubers.
Suppose that you're all playing the same
They all do the same thing too. It's actually crazy.
game. Where's the point of differentiation besides the level of skill? Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but on the surface, from a visual point of view, maybe a slightly different overlay, slightly different editing, slightly
That's
different
about
webcam,
it. That's
but
why having Adobe is probably key. You want to put in some weird, wacky stuff when you're doing gaming videos.
overall, differentiating yourself
You know, give it your own personality, really.
from the crowd in a way unrelated to gaming skill can be difficult. We can use a comparison example like Tfue and Ninja. If you put their streams or videos side by side, they really aren't that different. But the
Right.
thing is, you can compare these two high-level streamers to
There's a reason people do that. It's because it works. That's why. Like, if you don't think it doesn't work, if you're one of those people that are like, come on, man, have some originality, you're just going to put yourself way behind in the industry.
any other lower-level streamer or YouTuber, and it'll be a pretty similar comparison from a visual standpoint.
But now let's look at some examples on the opposite end so we can have some contrast. What about those extremely differentiated YouTubers in a video genre with high barriers to entry?
Let's talk about Vsauce. If you haven't heard of him, then you're probably
This would be like personal knowledge on stuff, I guess.
living under a rock. But he's a science YouTuber with 15 million subscribers.
I don't really watch Vsauce either.
He uploads very rarely. For example,
Does a human have one? Well, I guess it depends if you count the nostrils as two separate holes, but they technically go into one. Then I guess it would 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you count like taking your eyes out, you have sockets and stuff. So could have quite a bit of holes actually. And then obviously one gender has a little bit more. One more? Well, I guess actually no, they wouldn't, would they? Because yeah, no, they really wouldn't actually.
his last upload was 4 months ago in
Don't even
February
talk about it.
2020. But 4 months isn't even that long for Vsauce. His previous upload before his most recent upload
Actually, would you even? Okay, this is gonna be weird, right? Would you consider the penis a hole? Because it does have one, right? But like, it's like an outward hole. That's weird.
was 9 months ago, and 2.5 years before that. But these videos all still got millions of views. Imagine
Right.
if any gaming YouTuber that you can think of uploaded 3 times in 2 years.
Yeah, that just wouldn't work out.
How dead would their channel be? Pretty
Very dead. I think that's because the game itself has a very low life expectancy compared to a person doing stuff like that, you know?
dead if you ask me.
So then let's ask the question, what makes Vsauce extremely resistant to irrelevancy? It's not just that Vsauce makes good content,
What makes Vsauce? Like I said, I haven't watched it, so I don't know exactly. I'm assuming it's just some of his ideas are probably more captivating than watching the same old video game every single time.
because there are loads of creators who make great content and still end up going irrelevant.
It's that Vsauce has a skill that no one else on YouTube can replicate.
Which is...
Particularly his knowledge and interest in science to a level where no one else can compete with him.
There's very
That's not
few
true.
people that have the knowledge that Vsauce has, and of those who do
Oh,
have
yes,
that same
That's true, right?
level of knowledge, how many of them have the ability to create engaging, well-edited videos like Vsauce? He's
See, this is kind of like the teacher problem, I suppose. You know, if you have a good teacher, your students will probably get involved in the thing. Like, this is almost like the teacher problem.
So far ahead of the pack with his skill set that no one else has any hope of catching up. Another
That's just false.
example is someone like Brody TV. His skill is that he has the ability to
Never even heard of this guy either. Holy crap.
go out and embarrass himself in public and look hilarious while doing it. It's something that no one else is willing to replicate because it can be embarrassing and awkward to film. You need a cameraman who's willing to follow you around for a day. It's not easy. It's a difficult type of content to produce. It has high barriers to entry. But difficult can be a good thing because
I don't know if that's actually high difficulty or a difficult barrier of entry, really. It's just something a lot of people don't want to do.
the resistance to irrelevancy is much higher, considering there's minimal
He's got the the investor's hat on. That's
competition
crazy.
and very few alternatives
Or a businessman hat.
to watch if you want that type of content. Final example, Casey Neistat. What does he have in his videos that no one else can replicate? Well, he has a lifestyle that very few can replicate. He has a
True.
non-douchey influencer personality despite all of his
Non-douchey. Wow, that's very opinionated statement right there.
success. Another thing that not many people can replicate. And on top of this, he has filmmaking skills beyond this world that no one can even get close.
Really? You're gonna... I don't think he probably has a little bit of knowledge on like what the video should be and all the tech that goes behind it, but I wouldn't say that's a very hard thing to replicate. Once you get into knowing the basics behind a computer or a camera and stuff, you kind of understand. A lot of it's almost the same. You really just kind of buy a little bit of quality upgrades with the brand and maybe stuff like that. It's not really too difficult of a thing to get into.
Close to replicating. He has so many skills that make him indispensable on the platform.
That just
And the
looks
result
fun.
is that he can make YouTube videos that no one else will ever be able to replicate on the same level. He's only uploaded 5 times in the last 4 months. The views might not be as strong as they were previously, but they're still pretty decent. If you were to
Yeah, I
upload
guess.
5 times in 4 months on a gaming channel, it's pretty likely that your YouTube career would be pretty much fried.
Yep.
So, avoiding irrelevancy appears to be just having a skill that you can perform on camera that very few other people can replicate without working on themselves.
See if this summary is kind of right. Avoiding irrelevancy appears to be just having a skill that's not always true, right? Sometimes what you think can get you really in trouble. Sometimes having the skill and then, well, I guess that would kind of be like, you know, people, I guess, you know, some points of this is correct, but that's not really the only factor that goes into this, obviously. I'm guessing he's going to say this is the biggest factor, though, which I kind of disagree with.
First. Then let's apply that to
I would say it's more personality based than really anything.
gaming. Most gaming YouTubers don't have this type of specific skill that no one else is willing or able to replicate. Well, kind of. I say that lightly. I'll talk about that in a second. But firstly, I think we can all agree, if a gaming YouTuber doesn't post, there's 100 or even 1,000 other people playing the same
Yep,
game who are
That's the big one that I'm thinking of.
all easily accessible on YouTube for you to watch as a viewer. It goes back to the point that if you aren't
It took him a long time to react that he only got a hit marker on that.
consistently producing, there's always going to be another gaming YouTuber who is. But let's go further back to what I said about gaming YouTubers not having a specific skill that no one else can replicate. What I've said is obviously not entirely true.
Yep.
In order for there to be certain gaming YouTubers that rise to
Like I said, yeah, I'm guessing he just thinks this is a very big factor key of the picture, the pie there.
the top, there has to be some sort of skill in place for these top gaming YouTubers, right? Well, of course. Why do you watch a Tfue or a Ninja? Because they're exceptionally skilled at the game that they're playing.
But what about, for example, like those Minecraft YouTubers where there isn't a specific skill aspect to the game?
Well, not only that, you kind of have to be interested in the video game they're playing in the first place, right? So if they're really good at a very popular game, that's obviously going to be a plus for them. As compared to if they were skilled in maybe Minesweeper, not too many people are going to give a shit about that.
What is their skill? It's not like you need to be exceptional at the game to be an entertainer on it.
Right?
Well, that is their skill, entertainment. And this is why
Is that a skill?
so many of them go irrelevant over the long term. Entertainment in itself is an extremely volatile skill, especially in the gaming world because everyone is entertaining in some aspect. So then we might ask, what's the incentive for watching an entertaining YouTuber with a limited skill aspect? It's the game they're playing, right? You like the relatability of watching them do something.
No, I would say it's the personality. I don't think it's the game. I think the game definitely has a play in it, but I wouldn't say that equals what he's saying right here. Right.
Volatile skill, especially in the gaming world because everyone is entertaining in some aspect. So then we might ask, what's the incentive for watching
an entertaining YouTuber with a limited skill aspect? I would say that's more personality and how well they can entertain you.
An entertaining YouTuber,
not the game, right? Maybe that has like the second biggest part in it, but it wouldn't be your main.
Limited skill aspect. It's the game they're playing, right? You like the relatability of watching them do something in a game that you personally might be able to replicate in your own time.
But what happens to both types of gaming YouTubers, the skilled and the unskilled one, when the game that they're playing begins to decline in popularity?
Well, your audience
obviously your numbers go down.
Is going to decline naturally, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. If people aren't interested in the game, people aren't going to watch you, period. You can be the Rolls Royce of entertainment and the most skilled player on a specific game, but if the world isn't interested in the game you're playing, you're not going to get views.
Yep, exactly. I think that's one of the biggest points in this.
And of course, there are exceptions to this like PewDiePie and other variety creators, but generally speaking, if the game that the content is being made on is on a decline, the views are also naturally going to be on.
I would say this only applies for if they make a lot of videos on the subject instead of like one or two on basically every game, right?
A decline. Case study, someone like Noah's Noah. Following Fortnite's decline in popularity, his views have naturally dwindled. He was uploading quite literally daily, very high quality content, but given the decline in the game he was making,
if you're making Fortnite videos, how high quality can they be? Come on.
Making content on, the growth just wasn't there. So when the game that the specific YouTuber is known for begins to decline in popularity, what happens to the
he was shooting at? Was that a T-bait? That was a T-bait, wasn't it?
Content on the growth just wasn't there. So when the game that the specific YouTuber is known for begins to decline in popularity, what happens to those gaming YouTubers who specifically have that gaming skill on a particular game? People like your Tfus and your Ninjas. Well, they have two options. They can stick with a game that they're exceptionally skilled at and are making content.
Or try to rebuild their audience in another game, or try to get the audience to move with them to another game, really, is what I would try to do.
But it's a sinking ship given the declining viewership. They're not stupid, they know that games come and go, rise and fall in popularity. If they stick with that game, there's a chance they'll go down with the ship. So the second option seems more viable, to change game to whatever is most popular. But
I wouldn't say whatever is most popular, but whatever you're willing to play. That's a shallow way of looking at it to me.
Then let's take Tfue for example, previous top 50, top 20, top 10 player in Fortnite, right? Well, when he swaps to a game like Call of Duty Warzone, is he going to be top 50, top 20, top 10 player right off the bat?
Well, of course not. Skill level is unique to a particular game. It might translate a little bit, but not in its entirety.
Like you're aiming.
Maybe in the top 10,000 or the top 5,000 players. While top 10,000 is a reasonably impressive number, why are you going to watch a streamer or a YouTuber in the top 10,000 players when there will be another streamer on Twitch or YouTube on that game in the top 20 or top 10 for that new game that they've navigated to? The reason you watch a Tfue or a Ninja is, if I had to estimate, 80% game skill, 20% personality.
When the skill
80% gaming skill, maybe that only pertains to them, but I would still say it's kind of flipped the other way around.
Level on the new,
like maybe you found them because of the skill, but you don't stay because they're good at a game. That's just not like I can't speak on everyone, but like I don't care to watch someone who's really good at a game if they're just sitting there being boring as hell.
New game is much lower than the skill level on the previous game. There's not nearly as much incentive to watch.
And this is reflected in the YouTube views for Tfue as well as many other Fortnite creators. People like Ninja, Muselk, Lachlan, they're obviously not irrelevant or even close to it, but you can see how their view charts pretty much perfectly correlate with the popularity of the game. And this is kind of what we've seen with most of the big Call of Duty YouTubers from back in the day. As their main game that they're linked to declines in popularity, they just kind of go down with it. And the only ones who stay relevant are the ones who either move to new ventures or develop a bit more of a personality and become a variety streamer.
Yeah, and they say like they say that's adapting, but
streamer. But generally speaking, think about White Boy 7th Street, X-Jaws. At the time, they were the kings of the world because their skill was relevant. But looking back, you can see how disposable they are considering that their only developed skill within their videos is their ability to play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And now that that game has a minimal audience, they have to resort to other shit that everyone else can replicate. Football card opening, how to smell flowers, just general clickbait BS. Anything to get a few more views before the channel disintegrates into nothing. They have to resort to other shit that everyone else can replicate. Football card opening, how to smell flowers, just general clickbait
What are you saying here, guy?
BS.
Come
Anything
on.
to get a few more views before the channel disintegrates into nothing.
There's no effort,
harsh,
there's
that
no
one
passion,
cuts
there's
deep.
no nuance. There's nothing that is being done in these videos that can't be replicated by anyone else on this platform.
And the ultimate result, a dead channel.
The thing is, I would say this guy's almost got the same creation as a gaming channel, as all he does is really tell stories on people. He goes back, he finds some details, and then he'll retell the story. But the only plus with his is maybe you like the person he's talking about, you like the topic he's doing, so I would say he's kind of in the same boat as almost these gamer YouTubers. Like, what happens if he starts doing videos on the same person again? You know, no one's probably gonna watch. I don't think this guy's particularly entertaining. He does give you a reviewer details on the person, but like anyone can do this, right? People do this, so.
So then let's finish this video by answering the original question. Why do gaming YouTubers go irrelevant more than any other type of channel? Well, the videos and the channel...
And then again, he doesn't really have proof for this. I think he's just noticing that the older people are kind of out of touch. And of course, like, if they want to stay back and play the games that they love and people don't care about that game anymore, only the people that really care about them are going to stick around, right? You're not going to get those new, fresh viewers that like the game and then come to you. That's not going to happen.
Popularity are often based on the popularity of something that's totally out of their control, the popularity of the game. On top of this, there's unlimited competition for the genre considering the low barriers to entry. Finally, differentiation beyond skill level is extremely difficult given the thousands or even millions of channels available for viewing. If you're a gaming YouTuber and want to avoid irrelevancy, it seems as though you have to offer something unique, a unique personality.
That's with anything, right? That's just with anything, though, you want to sell. It needs to be unique. Otherwise, why would they pick your... That's like the first thing they... Like, sell me this pen, right? Like, come on, that's just an obvious answer. That's really basic answer. I thought there was going to be a little bit better of a conclusion here.
Like CD and the Third, or exceptional skill across multiple games like Tfue or Shroud. You have to have something else that no one else can offer. Be like the...
Wow, did this come out 2 years ago? My god. That's crazy.
Source. Be like Brody TV, be like Casey Neistat. Offer the YouTube audience something that no one else can offer. If you do, you'll have a cruisy time on the platform.
Right.
Alright, that's going to be all for this video, guys. If you guys could like and subscribe.
Wow, this came out 2 years ago. That's crazy. Yep, there's a year-old comment. Wow, I did not realize this. Another huge point for Vsauce is that he's a meme machine. So how big is Vsauce right now? Vsauce. 18. How's his videos doing? Hey! Still doing pretty good. Yeah, they're still doing good too, so that's nice. Well, my conclusion on this is basically it's just, you know, people will stay with you if they like you, but if you don't move on to what other people also enjoy, you're just not gonna be relevant. And that's kind of the key concept of the word, is relevancy. So if you want a lot of views and stuff, you got to be doing what a lot of people are willing to watch, really. And sometimes they're just not willing to watch you play the same game every single day for extended amount of years. That's like, yeah, that's my conclusion to this. All in all, pretty good video. I did like that video. I might do another video on this guy. He has some pretty... I'll subscribe to him. He has some pretty good videos. See how he's doing. BuzzFeed Unsolved Cases That Are Now Solved. That'll be interesting because I actually liked that series. Not the unsolved ones. The what is it? The one where they go and do all the ghost stuff. I like that one. I like that series with these people. That's like a very weird picture of Ryan. Yeah, maybe I'll watch some more videos with this guy. Oh, I did watch one on him. Nobody likes James Corden. I've never seen this guy either. I really didn't care about him. This is mom. So that's really old news. That's like super old. That should be public knowledge, right? So Eminem dissed his mom so hard she sued. I mean she did sue, but I don't think he dissed him so hard. I don't think it was a diss. She just thought it was like, oh, did she win that? I don't remember if she won that or not. Crap. Completely dead. What happened? Who knows? I don't know who that is. James Charlie career is basically dead. I don't know who that is. Fitness YouTuber who went clinically insane. Oh, I should watch this because I used to watch this guy too. Yeah, I should watch this one. This one might be my next video actually. That's cool. I like this guy. I'll see what he has to say on that. Alright, well that's going to do it for this video. Adios, amigoses.